welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. All right, lucky number 13.
How many episodes are in this season?
22.
Okay, because it's getting real fast.
I know it is. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're halfway. Well, we're a little bit more, but we're generally halfway through the season, so. Yep. Things are getting real. Okay, so Blood Ties. Originally aired on February 6th, 2001. Written by Stephen S. D. Knight and directed by Michael Kirschman. And the synopsis is, as Buffy and friends celebrate her 20th birthday, Dawn is traumatized to learn that she is the key and runs away. But Buffy and the Scooby Gang must find her before Glory does. Boom, boom, boom. All right, yep. So it's another Buffy birthday episode, which means that something has to go wrong, right? I mean, she never has a good birthday.
But like, this was the least worst birthday, I feel like.
It is, yeah. But still, she can't have an uneventful birthday. Like, no. She would just love to have one. We start at the Magic Box, and Buffy is telling the gang that she doesn't want to have a 28th birthday party because there's just too much going on, and she would rather not have one, but everyone else thinks that she should have one. She's
worried about Glory. She's got shit going on. No time for birthdays.
Yeah, but Willow's really encouraging her to celebrate, to mark the occasion.
Yeah.
So Giles has gone through all the information that the council gave them, and he found out that Glory, because she was a god, Glory ruled over a hell dimension with two other gods.
Another dimension.
Yeah. Another hell dimension that they're trying to always find their way into our dimension. And so somehow she found her way in. That's all we know. So she's stuck in human form because she does not have full power. But she's being stuck in human form has weakened her, even though she's incredibly strong. She's not god level strong.
It makes her crazy.
Yeah, it makes her crazy. So
even though she's immortal.
Yeah, it drains sanity. She drains sanity from people. That's why they no longer possess it when she brain sucks them. And of course, everyone else here is like, well, what about the key? We need to focus on that. We need to find it. We need to figure out what it is.
Finally.
And Buffy and Giles are like,
maybe it's time.
We have it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And they're like, what? You didn't tell us?
Yeah, they're not happy about that.
Yeah, so eventually Buffy does have to tell them about Dawn because now that Glory knows who they are and stuff like that. So now they actually are in it. She didn't tell them before to keep them safe, but now they have to know.
Yeah.
So then we go into the desert where the knights are kind of chanting around a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying the link must be severed. And it's the will of God that the link is severed, which is the key. The key is the link is what they're talking about. And I put minions attack. So all of Glory's minions show up and try to fight them. I'm like, I never thought for a second the minions had a fighting chance.
100% no.
The minions are
they suck. They're not very good minions.
They're very good at giving her compliments, but
they're loyal.
Yeah, they're loyal.
They're not strong. They're not powerful.
Particularly smart.
No, yes.
So maybe that's why they go up against these knights, because they're not really smart. And the knights easily take them down.
Two of them. They kill two of them. Yeah,
they almost kill a third one, but Glory shows up and stops it. And obviously she's going to cause problems for the knights. So we go to the credits and we come back. And we're out in the front of the street of the Magic Box, and Willow and Tara are doing a spell. Kind of like a supernatural security alarm.
Yeah.
That way, if anything supernatural crosses over the line, it will blast alarm. So if Glory tries to come into the house, which they also said they did one for Buffy's house, and the Magic Box, and they'll be alerted. Yeah. Dawn comes up and is asking what they're doing, so they're explaining this, and they're kind of acting a little bit weird around her.
Nobody knows how to act around her now.
Yeah, they were pretty normal compared to what we see in a minute. But so Dawn walks in and sees Giles put away some books somewhere. He kind of hides some books, and she notices this.
She does.
And also Anya and Xander are acting Anya is
she's the worst.
She just does not have...
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, she just doesn't even know how to be normal. And Yeah, so her and Xander are acting weird. And she's like, why are you guys acting so weird? And then her and Buffy kind of get into it. And I said, Dawn kind of acts like Spike. And she says, oh, she's stronger than you. And I hear she's prettier than you and all this. And Buffy doesn't like that. She's like, no way, she's not prettier than me. So at Glory's, Glory has taken that. She killed all the other knights, but she
saved one.
Saved one to torture him. So she's torturing him for information about the key.
But hey, he does not give anything up.
No, I mean, this is like his sole purpose and his sole goal. So yeah, he's like, even if I knew, I would never tell you. And I think she eventually is like, yeah, okay, you don't know.
And she just feeds off his poor little brains.
So she's like, you know what? This is going to have to be a total waste of time. I'll just suck out your sanity. So that's what she does.
That sucks.
Poor thing. So it's Buffy's birthday party. And now she's happy because she's just like, gimme all the gifts.
Gifts. I like gifts.
That was cute. She's like, gimme. So Tara and Willow get her like a nice feminine shirt because she's like, figured you'd get a lot of weapons and like vampire-y things. So we wanted to get you something nice. And I love when Anya takes it and she's like, oh, it's just so lovely. I wish it was mine.
Yeah, Anya.
And then I also love when she's like you guys were all thinking at the same time. And Giles was like, I wasn't. I have one just like it. I love that. Dawn gives Buffy a picture frame of them when they were at the beach with their dad. Like they went on vacation with their dad like several years before. And she like collected shells and so she put the shells all over them.
That's a really cool gift, actually.
And everybody gets like really emotional about it because it's not, it didn't happen.
Nope. Yeah.
And she's like, hey guys, like, is that like, what's the big deal? Like, we don't have to get all like
I was just too much of a cheapskate to spend money.
Yeah, to get you a real gift. But yeah, she Buffy's touched and like hugs Dawn. And her and Joyce share that like look over Dawn's shoulder. Like, oh, can you believe this? Like that it wasn't a real memory. So in the kitchen at Buffy's party, Giles, Joyce, and Buffy are in the kitchen talking about Glory. And Joyce is kind of like getting caught up. Like, what do you know? Like, do you know if she's dangerous and all of this? And Dawn is listening.
Yep.
It took me a second to like realize what they're talking about Dawn, which would be so stupid if Dawn's in the other room, or if they were talking about Glory. But I think they were talking about Glory.
Yeah.
Dawn's listening and just thinks something weird is about what they're talking about, and then goes into the living room and everybody acts weird immediately. So she gets mad. She's like, why is everybody, like, you guys are talking about me? Everybody's acting weird. Like, I can tell that you're acting weird. She gets angry and goes upstairs to go to bed.
Yeah.
So she sneaks out of the house.
And who does she bump into but Spike?
Chocolate box wielding Spike.
I mean, a beat up box.
Yeah, it was the box that he beat that mannequin to death with.
Yeah.
He's like,
he didn't get a new one.
He doesn't have a lot of cash to spare, so he's like, I gotta use these. My apology gift is now a birthday gift. So they've been sitting around his crypt. And
some of them fell on the floor. Yeah. So
it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. And Dawn catches on to him right away. It's like, you're going to give Buffy those banged up like box of chocolates. Like, how pathetic are you?
Lame box of chocolates.
Yeah. And he's like, and she says, I'm going to go break into the magic box and steal stuff. Do you want to come? He's like, yeah, okay. Yeah,
okay.
We'll go.
I don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to do. Was I really going to go give Buffy these chocolates? Probably not. I was just going to stand out here until it was time to go home. So at the magic box, Spike is picking out the lock, which is funny because he's like, usually I just barge through doors. Like I haven't had to pick a lock in a while. And so they go. That Dawn says she's trying to find that book that Giles had, and it just kind of disappeared. She saw it there, and then when she turned around, it was gone. So she finds that Giles has like a secret compartment, like a secret drawer in the counter.
She finds the book.
And she finds a lot of notes in like this book. And her and Spike sit down and read it. And yeah, 'cause she has like an inkling that whatever is going on is in this book.
Yeah.
And she actually realizes before like Spike actually reads it.
She's starting to get like little flashbacks about things.
Yeah, like it says like people outside of reality can see the key's true nature. And then she has all those flashbacks to everybody saying weird things, the crazy people like in her mom and all that stuff, saying weird things. The necromancy, so that's the snake, the big snake.
Yep.
And then Spike reads the rest, which it basically just spells it out that the monks sent the key to Buffy as a sister. Yep. So cat's out of the bag now.
And then Spike's like, huh, I guess that's you, huh, Niblet?
Yeah. And I like how he gives himself away because he puts his cigarette in like one of the...
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see him do that. I just saw them discover it later.
Yeah, he just like, before he sits on the ground, he puts it in there. Yeah, so at Buffy's, they've like, no word from Riley, huh? Like during the party. And she's like, yeah, no, I didn't expect anything from him, but yeah, regardless.
Birthdays with their boyfriends.
Didn't hear anything from him.
That's fine.
And they're talking, and then Dawn kind of comes in from behind Buffy, and she has cut herself with like a big like kitchen knife.
Yep. It looks a little scary.
Yeah, she's like, is this real blood? Is this real?
Is anything real?
Is anything real? Am I real? So she's obviously found out. She goes upstairs, and I think this is when Buffy and Joyce are talking to her. And she's like, how old am I? And Joyce is like, 14, of course. She's like, how really old am I? And Buffy says 6 months. And she's like,
that's a lot. It's
grappling with that. Yep. She like screams at them she freaks out and screams at them to get out of her room.
Freaks out, yep.
So she's like, okay, we just have to give her some space, and they leave. So at the magic box the next day, Buffy's like, we need to know more about the key. Dawn deserves to know where she came from.
Yep, which is fair.
We need answers for her.
Yep.
And then you're like, how did she even find out?
And then they find the cigarette butt.
I was like, somebody's been using the orn of whatever as a ashtray, and she's like, Spike. Yeah. So she confronts him. And she's like really pissed off at him because she like sees like, oh, he led her there and like basically found, even though he didn't even know about it. So I don't know how.
How would he even know? And also, he's just like, I thought I would watch out for her while she did this thing, which was kind of nice. He didn't have to do that.
I mean, it's true. Like he didn't know, and he didn't know that something was being hidden from her.
No.
So yeah, he says, if I was just trying to like look out for her because she was like going out on a midnight stroll on her own. And if you had told her up front, this wouldn't have happened. So
exactly.
Like, don't blame me for your bad decisions.
Yeah. It's fair.
Yeah. Once in a while, Spike's spitting the truth. So the next morning, I guess, Dawn is still laying there on the bed. And Joyce comes in. She
doesn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
She doesn't want soup.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not sick, which is true. It's like, what are you going to be fucking soup for?
That's what moms do, okay?
Just trying to make you feel better. And then she's like, you know what? Screw this. Like, I'd rather just be at school. I don't even want to be here. So she leaves and does go to school.
Well, also, and she's like to Joyce, you're not even my mother. Like,
yeah, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my mother.
Damn.
So at the hospital, Ben comes into the mental ward and he's giving out it's pill time. Happy pill time. So he's giving out the pills to everybody.
All the colors.
Yeah. He's like, ooh, chartreuse. Or what did he say? Chartreuse?
Something like that, yes.
And he notices that he knows who the knights are, the knights of Benanthium. And he sees one of them because they have that mark on their forehead. And he's like, oh my gosh. And one of Glory's minions just hang out around the hospital all the time.
There's only one left too, right?
There's more, but
are there? Okay.
I think she only had sent. They do. So this minion tells Ben, like, yep, they've arrived. They're here. And Ben's like, oh man, they're here. Okay, like things are moving along in some way that Ben obviously has the in about. And
he says something about Ben's fate being linked to Glory's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
And the minion kind of tells him, okay, like we need to put this like petty squabbles behind us now, and like you need to like join Glory essentially. And Ben's like, nah,
it's not having it.
Nah, not gonna happen. So at Buffy's, Dawn is like in her room and she is looking at her diaries and she just like starts ripping the pages out. And downstairs, they're talking about, Joy says she got suspended from school today because she like just started yelling at a teacher. And Dawn overhears Buffy out of context.
Well, yeah, because she starts talking about how she's not real. We aren't her family.
We don't know
she's
what
trying to
she
say
is.
Like she's trying to say this is how she must feel, but that's all. Dawn just hears that little baby snippet.
Yeah.
And,
because Joyce is like, well, why could you say that? She's like, I'm just saying that's how Dawn probably feels. We have to give her space to like process this. But Dawn doesn't hear that.
Nope.
So she like runs back upstairs, trashes her room.
Oh, yeah.
And then also downstairs while this is happening, I don't know why they wouldn't hear this commotion, but Dawn and Buffy are talking about what Dawn needs. It's like Slayer versus sister. You know, Buffy's in full Slayer mode, and Joyce is saying she needs her sister right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But also rightfully so, Buffy's saying, I'm the only thing standing between her. The Slayer is the only thing standing between her and Glory and the Key.
Yeah.
And then what we think is Willow's alarm goes off, but it's not. It's the fire alarm. Yeah, so they run upstairs, and Dawn, she's like got a trash can fire going on in her room with all of her diaries that weren't real. Anything before 6 months ago wasn't real. And she's gone out the window.
Yeah.
So she's ran away again. At the magic box, the gang's all together and they're gonna split up. Spike's there too. And they are gonna split up and go look for Dawn. And we see just a little quick scene of Dawn wandering around the playground. Having kind of like false memories. We're having memories, but realizing that they're false. Of like when she was a kid playing there and stuff. So in an alley, Xander and Giles are looking for her. And I love how Giles is like looking up. Like, like I don't know, maybe she could be in a fire escape or something. Like, what's she going to be doing up in like on top of a building? Or I don't know, hanging off the side of a building. That's funny. Looking in dumpsters. Like,
he's being thorough.
He's being thorough, yeah. Xander kind of uses this as like a braggy moment that this like all-powerful force has a crush on him. And Giles just walks away. He does not even entertain this stupid conversation.
Because it is stupid.
Thank you, Giles. I'm glad we didn't have to hear any more dialogue about this. At the playground, Buffy and Spike are there, but obviously Dawn is now gone. And Buffy tells Spike that he was right. If they had told her and handled this better, then this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I get why they didn't. They couldn't really. They still didn't have everything figured out yet. They still don't. And, like, how. I mean, even though Dawn's the key, right now she's in 14-year-old human form. You can't really expect a 14-year-old human to learn how to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he consoles her, saying, like, don't worry, like, it would have happened anyway, probably. He's just trying to make her feel better.
Yeah.
But you'll find her just in the nick of time. And she's, like, doubtful. She looks at him like, I don't know. So Dawn wanders past the hospital and walks into the hospital. And she goes into the mental ward because I think she wants to see if those mental patients can like recognize her or like tell her like what's going on.
See her.
She wanders in. Yeah, see her. So she wanders in there, and they start like chanting like it's here, and all this.
Not helpful. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, and she tries to like kind of talk to them, but she goes over to the Knight because he's the one like, talking a little bit more sense, and he says like needs to be destroyed, and she's like, oh shit, like. I need to be destroyed. Like, they're trying to destroy me, which she didn't know until just now, I feel like.
Yeah.
So she freaks out. And she runs into Ben, who gets her out of there and takes her, like, into the break room and gets her hot chocolate.
That's cute, yeah.
And Ben thinks she's there because Joyce was brought back in.
And also because he thought, like, maybe she had a fight with Buffy. And she's like, oh, yeah, sisters can be a pain.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my moment to think, oh, he must be referring to Glory. But that is not... accurate, apparently. Okay, let's continue. That's okay.
I get why you would think that.
Yeah.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it after we talk about it.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. And yeah, he's just commiserating about like fighting with his sister because she said she's not my sister. He's like, yeah, I know what that feels like having a sister. You wish you weren't your sister. You know that.
Yeah.
And then she, for some reason, says, I am the key, has to be kept from Glory.
And this is why they shouldn't have told her.
Exactly.
Yes. So Buffy shouldn't be beating herself up because she's a dumb 14-year-old.
Yeah. And so he starts panicking.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
he does.
Oh my God, you're the key. Like, you have to get out of here. She's coming.
Yep.
Like, he starts, I think his, like, heightened anxiety brings what happens on.
Maybe. Because Glory senses it?
And he turns
He's like,
into
she's
Glory.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay, he turns into Glory.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought she just like, I thought they like, I don't know, traded places or something. I guess I assumed she like, she came in and he went out. Like I still
of the
thought
room?
They were, well, I guess. I still thought they were separate entities, I guess, even though that happened. Okay, but they're not. So they're the same person.
They're sharing the same essence.
Okay.
So that's what he was like talking like he kind of like feels like a sibling relationship, but they're not actually siblings, I guess.
Weird. So they're the same thing. God? Are they one God?
That's TBD. Right now, you just need to know that.
But okay, so
the Ben turned into Glory.
What is the connection between Glory and Ben was my question. What is the connection between Glory and Ben then?
We can say for now that we can say they share a body.
Okay.
But it's like obviously a different body, but the body turns into, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. It's not like Glory's ever, we see Ben and it's actually Glory. It's like whoever we see is there.
Okay. And so when we see them, they're separate. So like when Glory is
you never see them in the same room.
That's what I say. So when Glory is in Glory form, Ben is not hanging out at the hospital then. Got it. Okay.
No.
That was my question.
And that's like also like when that one scene in the locker room a couple episodes ago when that one demon was going to attack Ben and Glory was there and stopped it. That's because he turned into Glory and then stopped the demon. He was in the same room.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So he had turned into her.
Weird.
So now Glory's there and John's like, what did I just see? And a guard comes in and she breaks his neck. Because obviously they're not supposed to be in there. Yeah. So the gang all meets up at the graveyard and they all like kind of reconvene and say, no luck. Couldn't find her. And then Buffy's like, okay, something could have happened, and more than even just Glory out there. Like, there's lots of like bad things that go bump in the night in Sunnydale. So they're gonna go to the hospital and like check that hasn't been admitted. So at the hospital, I like when Glory comes in. She's like, "Don't I know you?"
Yeah.
But she wants to talk to Dawn. Tries to get her to talk about the key because she knows she's Buffy's sister.
Know more about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Dawn plays this well for about 30 seconds.
She did. I thought so. She asked, like, what does it look like?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I've
seen it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. She's saying it. One thing I thought was interesting that I never noticed before was that she says, well, last time I saw it, it was like a green sparkling energy, and Dawn's wearing a green shirt, which I thought was
I did catch that. I caught that.
I thought that was nice.
And I like the way Glory described the key. Like, it was very cute. Like, I know Glory's evil, but like, it was cute the way she described it. She seemed very happy about this key.
Yeah, I mean, of all her little riches and her little fancy things, like the key is the
shiniest,
the best thing she wants. So Dawn asks if it's evil, and Glory says, yeah. Well, it depends on your point of view. You know, it says it's like super, super old. When Dawn says, what is it for? Then Glory kind of like catches on.
What is it
that she's fishing for information. She's like, you know what? I've been meaning to send Buffy a message anyway, so you know nothing. So I'm just going to suck your brain. And then, that'll send a nice little message to your sister. So thankfully, though, Buffy breaks into the door at that exact moment. And she starts fighting Glory. Spike does help for a hot second.
I feel like, though, but at this point, like, Buffy's so driven by her protectiveness, I guess, of Dawn that she's actually able to fight her better than she has been previously.
She has, yeah.
That was a good motivator.
She gets a lot further with her than she has in the Fat being just total, like, bulldozed by her. I put in my notes, she holds up better. Yeah. Spike gets knocked unconscious, and Glory says, tell your boyfriend, like, something when he wakes up. She's like, he's not my boyfriend. And that really gets her pissed off, too. And Glory tries to throw a crowbar at Dawn, but Buffy jumps in front of it and gets impaled by the crowbar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in her chest.
Yep.
It's not good. And then Willow and Tara are doing a spell in the background while this is going on. And they, like, throw glitter on Glory. Mm-hmm. And then they say whatever, this spell, and then Glory disappears.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they made her go away.
Yeah, and Willow collapses and has, like, a bloody nose. So obviously that took a lot out of her.
It was a big spell.
Yeah. And then we see her just, like, she's like, where did you send her? She's like, I don't know. But she's just, like, in the air above Sunnydale, just appears. And
she's like, oh, crap.
Like, just falls down to Sunnydale somewhere. So Buffy's asking Dawn if she's okay. And she's like, why do you even care? She's like, you're my sister. I love you.
Yeah.
And she says, like, she has blood on her, and she Buffy they do a little blood pact or whatever, and Buffy says, like, it's Summer's blood. It's exactly the same as Buffy's. Because they made her out of Buffy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then, like, they hug. So Dawn is coming moved one step forward and, like, accepting all of this.
Yeah, still a lot.
Yeah, and so they hug. And that's it. And Buffy says, you know, you're my sister, I love you, and obviously she doesn't want anything to happen to her. Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. We flew through that one like, bam! It's the end of the episode. Okay. So my favorite quote was when Dawn says, lurk much? And Spike says, I wasn't lurking. I was standing about. It's a whole different vibe.
Okay, that's cute.
And then my favorite scene was, like, the Summer's blood at the end. When she says, like, Summer's blood is just like mine. I think that was good. And it's important. So.
Oh, is it? Okay. I get a tidbit.
This is a little crumb for you.
Okay. Okay, so my favorite line was, I already said it, when he's like, huh, I guess that's you, Niblet. Spike, that was really cute. That was so funny. Because he's just, like, also, like, you can see it on her face, like, she's processing it, she's realized it, and she's, like, freaking out about it. And he's just like, oh, huh. You know, just, like, completely oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, I guess they're talking about you. You're in here. You're in here. Did you know that?
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, and my favorite scene was the same as yours, that, like, yeah.
Yeah, so, that was an important one.
That was a good scene.
I would also say the scene where Ben turns into Glory is very consequential as well. But yeah, because we're like, what the heck? Oh, and we forgot to mention that when her and Buffy are talking, she says, Ben was here, he was helping me, but I don't remember what happened. I think he
left before Glory.
So she doesn't remember what she saw in front of her face.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
She plain as day saw it, but now can't remember it.
That is interesting. Yeah. You're right.
So, okay, so my stake rating was a 4.5 out of 5. I said, Ben/Glory, exclamation point. That's important. And I just said also that, like, this is a step, like, for one whole episode, Dawn came a long way. She didn't know anything in the beginning. And she's taken one step to accepting by the end. So it was a pretty short turnaround for her. I mean, she's not going to be fine next episode, but...
Definitely not. I wouldn't expect her to be.
I think she's accepted that her mom and her sister love her. Yeah. Instead of just being a job. Because she decided to Buffy, like, I'm just your job. You just have to protect me. I'm just your job. Oh, you don't care about me. I think she's accepted that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.7, actually. I really liked this episode. We got to learn more about the key. We still don't know everything, but I feel like we got a lot more to know about it. I liked having Buffy's birthday without dire consequences. I mean, I guess there still were, but, like, whatever. It was, like, a very low-key birthday for once, which was nice.
Yeah, it's her least worst birthday.
Yes, her least worst birthday. I thought it was cute the way Spike chaperoned Dawn to the store.
Helped Anya breaking and entering.
Yeah, after breaking it. Although Anya was kind of annoying, I thought, like, some of the stuff she was coming up with was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Her scenes were funny.
She can be annoying and funny at the same time, often.
Yeah, and just the way the Scoobies work together to try and figure stuff out, like getting spells ready. And then even that scene at the end, like when, Tara and Willow were doing this spell. And then, like, I think Xander tries to do the crowbar. And then
that's where
Giles,
she gets
like,
the
crossbows her. They all really work together on that. That was, like, such a great scene.
The brute force, air quotes, that Xander and Giles try to use don't really do much, but they tried. Yeah. But that just gave Glory a weapon, and then she's impaled Buffy with it. Yeah. Good job, Xander.
Sucks, but she seemed to get up pretty quickly after that.
She just pulled it out. It was fine.
Yeah. And I want to know more about Glory, because I misinterpreted the scene where they flipped, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm still very curious to know what she is, how her and Ben work, I don't understand a lot still. Mm-hmm. Still a lot to learn more about the key. Yeah. Well, there's like 10 episodes left, or 9, I guess.
There's 20, 9. Yeah. Okay.
Episode 14, Crush. What could this be about? Who's crush on who? Is that my question? Because I got an answer for you.
That's too easy. This is like one of my like top 5 rewatch episodes.
Really?
I love this episode so much. When I met James Marshner's the first time when I was 16.
You met him?
I met him twice when I was a teenager at a convention, at Buffy conventions. The first time I had him sign Crush, the script.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you get it?
I bought it off of eBay or something.
Wow, cool.
It wasn't like, I think it wasn't like.
Do you still have it?
No, I lost a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Like, just, yeah.
When did you meet him the second time?
Okay, the first time I was 16, my aunt and my cousin and I, we flew to Baltimore to meet him. We went to a convention and met him. And then he came to one in Cleveland, so my whole like family went because we were all obsessed with Buffy and obsessed with them.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
It was a 2-day event, and we went both days. So the first day, we had like a disposable camera, and we each took a picture with him.
Oh.
And then the next day, we went 1 hour photo, and then we went back the next day and had him sign the pictures.
That's such a cool idea. Wow.
And
okay.
I had that picture next to my bed for like a decade. But when one of my moves, it got wet.
Oh.
And it like stuck to the glass, and when I was trying to like remove it, it just destroyed the picture.
That sucks. Yeah. Okay.
I think I have a picture of the picture.
Oh, that's cool at least. Okay, that's something.
But yeah, he had the blonde hair and everything. This was like very much like still
Spike
during filming and stuff. Yeah. So, but that's how much I love this episode. I had him sign this script.
Damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But the question, anyway, is who comes to town on a train?
It's not Angel, I don't think. I think we're done with Angel. I don't think it's Riley. I think Riley's done too. I don't think we're going to see either of them again, unless it's like little baby snippets. Who would make this episode more interesting? Drusilla. Haven't seen her for a while.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that wraps up Season 5, Episode 13, Blood Ties. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram at One Girl in All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Season 5, Episode 14, Crush. Slay real soon.
Bye.